Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we are anything but straight. My name is Space.
And I'm Dare.
And we welcome you to our episode, which is about what today?
Today, we're going to be interviewing one of, I think, my favorite people who I've ever met in the fandom, Belka.
Yes, and Belka has actually been in our Telegram chat for quite a long time, and it's been such a great treat. I've gotten to know her for, I don't know, over, I want to say, can I just say the years? I just feel like it's been years. It's probably been a year, maybe two. But Belks has been really quite an inspiration. She posts a lot in our Telegram chat. She is really interactive. I feel like she's very much just like the heart of the community, at least in our podcast, like itself community. She brings a lot of, a lot of good, and she shares a lot of everything. And so we basically, during Pride Month, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to like really focus on key aspects of Pride. And I kind of felt like with Pride, we didn't really get to cover as much of diverse topics as I really wanted to. And I really wanted to focus more on the transgender, topic, because there was a lot going on in the world right now with that particular Hot Topic going on. That's not a plug for Hot Topic, even though I love that store. I love that store. But there's just been a lot of buzz going around about that particular topic. And we had an interview with Ruby before, who's trans, and that was a really beautiful interview where she's gone from male to female, and she's in that process right now. And now we have a wonderful chance to interview you, Belks, and you are trans, right? Have you finished your transition, or are you still transitioning?
Legally, I have finished my transition, but surgically, I haven't yet. I'm still waiting to get the bottom surgery.
Okay, so you're basically you're halfway there, but legally you are like basically legally transitioned from male to female, which is just amazing and quite an inspiration. So I would like to officially welcome Belks. You go by Belka, but what's your full name?
Full name in the furry fandom? What are you thinking? Because usually it's just Belka.
Whatever you prefer. What would you prefer?
It's usually just Belka, though the character in itself has a last name, which is Lunokot, named after the Russian moon rovers. But nobody remembers it, so it's just Belka.
I remember it because I Googled it. I Googled it. I actually Googled it, and I pulled up, and I'm like, oh, that totally makes sense. Okay. And I'm like, okay, all of this is falling like into place. This all makes sense now. So, okay, yeah. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are, where you come from, what kind of stuff do you do in the fandom, all that fun jazz.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe myself. Just a nobody in the fandom, but people probably says otherwise. In the fandom, I'm a very, very avid fursuiter, where fursuiting, I don't want to say it's my life, but in the fandom, it is my life. Besides fursuiting, I also, if I'm not fursuiting, I'm running around with a camera in my hand, taking pictures of both shooters and non-shooters at cons and events. There's not much more to me as what I do in the fandom than just that.
I feel like there's more to you than meets the eye, and we're about to find that out.
Yeah, when we dig deeper, I'm sure that more's gonna come up.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. Where do you come from?
I'm from the land of Lego, also known as Denmark. So a little country in Central Europe, just on top of Germany. born and raised in the country's second largest city called Aarhus, and been moving around a bit in the country due to work and relationships, and ended back in Aarhus again with my lovely fiance Sally.
Yeah, okay. So I've been actually for the longest time, and I just cannot figure out how to pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name?
His serval character or his house cat character?
The one that starts with an A.
Alius.
Alios. Okay. That makes it so much easier.
Or Aluros.
No, is it harder?
Yes, I just called him Alias.
Alias sounds better. I'll just call it that. The other one just like I was like, okay, that's probably how it's pronounced, but I like your first version better. For the longest time, I'm just like, how the hell am I supposed to pronounce this name?
Without lying, I can say he doesn't even know it exactly himself.
That makes me feel a bit better, to be honest.
That's great. You mentioned that you run around with your camera and you take pictures of other fursuiters and at conventions. I also know that you interact a lot with Cajun in the chat, and he takes a lot of pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I also know, just in general, that you have a hobby with cameras, that you collect a variety of cameras. And I know that you've said that it doesn't matter what kind of camera that you use, it's how you use the camera, and how you use the programs to edit the pictures that you take. Do you want to talk about your camera hobby?
Yeah, of course we can talk about that. Part of what I love about photography in general is that it's something you can share with others, and you can learn from one another. Learning and people the possibility of learning from you and your own mistakes makes it such a great community, even within the fandom. And I myself shoot a lot of analog photography on film, where I developed myself here at home, and that's also something I love to share and bring new people into shooting analog, because it's an art form.
It is an art form. It's a really unique art form, especially if you know that, like, I knew a friend that collected different cameras, and he also told me that it doesn't matter what camera you use. It's how you utilize that camera that makes all the difference. Like, you can use a Polaroid for the rest of your life and still come across as a professional photographer. It just depends on how you use the camera that makes you or sets you aside from everyone else.
I also think this might be a good time, as Belka is an incredibly talented photographer. If you'd like to drop your Twitter where you post your photography.
Yeah, I'll need a second, because I actually don't remember our photography Twitter's tag right now.
Oh, that's okay.
Dear, do you know it?
It's almost shameful.
Wait, I do follow it. Let me find
Nice.
it. I follow it, but
Okay, it is just serval dog.
yes.
Serval like the cat, and dog just dog.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Oh, I'm gonna go.
I just didn't remember if we we call ourselves Serval Dog Studios, and I just couldn't remember if we had our tag be Serval Dog Studios or just Serval Dog.
I'm gonna go follow this right now.
There you go. I sent you a link space.
Oh, thank you. I just gotta remember our new password that I set.
Oh no.
Damn it.
And I can say as much as our Instagram is the exact same.
You have an Instagram too?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I sent you I sent you a link to the Instagram instead of the Twitter. Whoops.
Send me both. I love Instagram. Like, I don't post as much anymore as I used to, because I used to post just all of my food things that I made, and I need to post other things that I do, because I do other things besides food now. So I really should get back up on top of that stuff. But there we go. Twitter and Instagram. Oh, this is going to be so great. Yay. Oh, thank you so much for this.
No problem at all.
All right, where's my new password? Where's the password?
Space struggles to find his password.
Right.
Okay, so everybody's story about transitioning is a bit different, but it always starts somewhere. So when you first will can we pickle that out?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Start over.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I lost the ability to speak for a second. It's okay. Okay. So everybody's story about transitioning is unique, but it always has to start somewhere. When did you first realize that something was different about you?
I would say I have known it most of my life, that something was different. I just didn't know what until I turned around 13 years. Yes, where I realized it, but I never did anything about it. It took me until I turned 21 or 22 before I actually did something about it and got the courage to come out and say, this is me, this is who I am. And part of what gave me the exact courage to do it was my fursuit. Because I had my character Belka, who was female, like I wanted to be. And by having her and wearing her and just feeling more and more able to be myself and actually feeling happy about myself, gave me the courage to contact the health authorities here in Denmark and get my transition started. It then took half a year or so before I came out to my family and started with telling my mom. And she, at that point, I always was together with Alias. So he, of course, knew that I was transgender, but my family didn't know. They thought I was gay and together with Alias, but when I told my mom, she understood it and she had an idea about it had an idea for a very long time about it. Then slowly the rest of the family got it told, and I'm one of the lucky ones that didn't face anything bad from my family when I came out and said who I was.
I envy that. Guys, I wish mine went as smoothly as yours did. Not because I didn't come out as trans, obviously, but I wish my coming out story was a little bit more as smooth as at least yours was.
I mean, there is the one thing about my coming out story that isn't very good, but that's more over in society in general, and a very, very old-fashioned workplace I had back then. So not everything is roses. There is some bad stuff in between, because literally the day I got my newest personal number or legal gender change was also the day I lost my job.
Was that because?
That was because of being transgender.
And it's so interesting. You probably, fans, you probably won't see this on Twitter because these are just conversations I've had with Belks just in Telegram, and I won't reveal anything more than just what I'm about to kind of release here, just little bits of information, and I can pickle this out if you want me to. I've looked. It's so interesting because it's from your point of view, and then looking at the world's point of view. It's totally two polar opposites. It's like according to the world, Denmark is like top 3 of the most LGBTQ like friendly countries of acceptance. But then, from your point of view and your stories, it's the complete opposite. And I've not, besides your story, I've come across other stories where it's also the same, where it's, people have not felt, the acceptance. And I'm wondering, I'm like, where I don't understand how these statistics are showing that this is an acceptance of a country, but then we have, you know, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, all of these types of people who are saying the complete opposite. What happened here? Because I feel like there's something that just didn't. I feel like there's a communication error that's going wrong here. Am I correct to assume that?
I would say that I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for my own case. And with the job I had, was and still very much is a very old-fashioned employer.
Okay.
Where unions are very normal here, but it's not normal for the union to be the people during summer holidays and everything for the employer. The union and the employer should not be friends. But this is like a company and union stuck in the 60s or 50s. So that's where it's coming from in my case.
And so then I probably could then assume that it's not like this across the country then. It just depends maybe where you go or where you're from. It's just a case by case then.
It's situation. Very much a case by case situation.
Okay. I was just wondering because I always felt like I guess that would be the case here then too. Like it's so ironic. A couple of years ago, so Utah here in the United States, Utah is considered to be the most religious, like as far as Mormonism goes, because it's just where all the Mormons are. And in Salt Lake City, there was like a survey that was done, and it was considered to be the gayest city in the United States. And I could not wrap my mind around this because I'm like, how? This is the most like judgmental, the most Mormon state in the United States. How did like San Francisco and New York City not outrank us? This makes absolutely no sense. And I've come across like situations where I've received judgment from others for being gay, and I'm like, I don't get this. This doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I can see it if I look at it from like your point of view. It could just be a case by case, and it could just depend on the city and where you come from as well.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
A lot of these things are case by case and can't really be strung together, so to say. At least here in Denmark, where you hear about negative stuff, but there's also a lot of positive stuff going on. So it's really a mixed bag of goodies.
That's good. Mm-hmm. So I know you told us that, you told your family about you identifying as trans. What about your friends? Did you have any friends at the time that maybe either some of them accepted it, some of them didn't? Did they all accept it, or did they all just like said, nope, we're done, bye?
Most of my friends back then and still now are from the furry community themselves, and the furry community is a super accepting place to be from what I have found. So far I haven't really lost any friends to it. Also the friends I had that wasn't in the furry community have all been nice about it, and heck, some even expected it to happen.
That's good. So that's good then. It kind of almost answers one of our questions later on, but we'll tweak it as it comes.
I'm already started to destroy your plan.
Damn it.
It always happens.
I hate it when our plans get foiled. It's okay.
Hey, nothing about the show can be straightforward or straight.
Really? Yeah, I know. That's the irony of the name. I love it though.
Cool. So obviously you mentioned earlier that your persona has been a pretty big part in you kind of feeling comfortable with who you are. But did the fandom come before or after, like, you kind of realized that you were trans?
The fandom came afterwards because I got introduced to the fandom when I was around 15 years old.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
again, didn't really do much, and because I was studying and needed to be super serial and everything.
Hmm.
So it came when I was around. I ordered Belka on my got to be 20th birthday, basically.
Oh, okay.
I do have questions about a couple of your characters, personas, and or fursuits, but I'll ask those a little
Yeah.
bit later. Just because I did I did find a few. Well, I found one, and I had a question about it, but then I found the answer to it as I was searching or researching, and then I'm like, okay, I still have questions about it though because now I have to know.
Is that
It's about
good?
Popper. It's
Yeah,
about
I
Popper.
was about to ask.
It's about Popper.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just ask about it. Sneak attack. Okay, so you all know there was a sneak attack question coming, and here's now another sneak attack question. So, as I was doing my research for you, I was looking in one of your journals, and when I do research on a particular guest, I go all out. I look everywhere on the internet for something, and I try to find something that either throws the guest off, or something that they maybe just forgot about, or whatever. And so I saw something about Popper, and but you never really mentioned Popper ever again anywhere else in your, for Affinity or anywhere. And I noticed that you mentioned that something it was personal and that it was of significance, but you had to make sure that it went to the right person, but you wouldn't sell it before
It
you
it
had.
didn't it didn't go to the right person. That's why I never talk about it. The suit is basically stuck under a bed and has been there since I sold it.
Okay.
It is what it is, and at some point there's gonna be a new version of the suit that's gonna be better.
Okay.
But it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I just don't want anyone to feel ashamed that they bought a fursuit that's basically just stuck on their bed now. But I do feel very, very sad about it because I wanted it to go to a home where it got used. And it basically got sold because I needed money to pay rent. And 4 days later, I got the job I had applied for and signed the
Uh,
contract. Had it happened 4 days earlier, the suit would never have been sold.
okay. That's I'm sorry. And if
No,
you want me to, I can
no,
remove
you
that
don't have to.
question. Okay.
It's part of it's part of history. We can't change it.
You kind of have to live with it and accept it and move on
Exactly,
with it.
exactly, and that's also why I don't own the character Pops or Popper anymore. He is kind of moved on to being Alias's character instead.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
So the suit was sold, but the character wasn't.
no, the character wasn't sold. I could never dream about selling any of my characters because they are very personal to me.
It's really interesting because usually when you sell a suit, you sell the character with it almost.
It was very important to me not to sell the character.
Okay. That is really interesting. I've never thought to think that way. So I guess I've never seen that before. And so when you initially said it went to the wrong person, I thought, oh no, is Alios the wrong person?
No.
Am I wrong? Am I
It's
thinking
only-
when you initially said that? I'm like, oh my god.
Elias would have been the right person, and he regrets not buying it back then.
Well, I'm glad that he has Popper as the character. That I'm glad that he has that special significance for you then, and I'm glad that part of Popper is still alive very much today.
It still is.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that sneak attack worked. It's my turn again for a question. That was a special question. In Telegram, again, and a lot of our conversations, in general, for the fans that don't know, has happened a lot in Telegram and not in the chat group. Belks reached out to me in June, in June, and mentioned that, she wanted to do they said, hey, if you wanted to do like a show about a fursuiter or a furry who basically changed their life through fursuiting and all that jazz, let me know. And so basically, fursuiting changed your life and gave you courage to be in the world, to be you. And I kind of wanted to know how fursuiting changed your life and gave you courage to be you in the world.
Well, it started with a friend of. It basically started with a friend of mine getting a fursuit, and I kind of fell in love with it. Like fursuit crush. I don't know what you should say.
I say fursuit crush is good.
If it's a good thing, then let's call it that.
Yeah.
Because I just really like their character and their suit. Nothing more than friendly, of course, because you gotta watch out what you say in this fandom. Some things always get over-sexualized very quickly, sadly.
Oh my god. All the time. Rule 34, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah. If you can think of it, it's on the internet.
Ew. I just thought of something and I don't want to think about it again.
But yeah, my friend then dragged me along to Fantastic, which is a small little Danish furcon, and it all kind of rolled from there, where a fursuit maker had a base they wanted to make a fursuit on. I ordered Belka, got her later that year, and started fursuiting quite a lot, and both being on fursuit walks and also being the person behind fursuit walks quite a lot of the time. And yeah, I just grew more and more feminine within Belka, so to say, and slowly gained courage until one day my friend just asked me if there was more to Belka than just a feminine character. And then I kind of boggled. Because of course there was. Nobody knew it before that question was asked. Nobody except myself.
It's basically like putting on, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when my friend let me put on his fursuit head, there was something magical that happened. And I was just like immediately transformed and I had to have one. And something like just clicked in my mind and I'm like, I want one so bad. And I have to have a fursuit. And it took like 7-8 years until I actually got one. I haven't really had a chance to wear it because I want to wear it so bad and I haven't had a chance. One day I will. I don't know when that day will be yet though. But yeah, I know I totally get where you're going there. I feel you.
Yeah, the funny thing is actually that Belka isn't my original persona.
Who's your original?
Lishika.
Is that
That's my eyesore of a pink and green bat.
Oh, I love her.
She's adorable, but she's
so
also
cute.
just very colorful.
She is
She
very
wasn't
bright.
a bat when I first designed her, but she did have antlers still.
She the one that's the snuffler? Is that the one?
Yes, exactly. She's the snuffler.
Okay, yeah. The one with the affinity to balloons.
Oh, I still want to draw her someday. She's so cute.
And how do you pronounce her again?
Lishika.
Lihika. Okay. It's interesting. So is that name also not Danish then? Is that name
That's
also
also from named
Russia?
after a Russian space dog,
Okay.
like the others.
I like it. I love it. When I Googled Belka and when I Googled, I think Strelka,
Yeah,
Googled,
Belka and Sprelka.
those both popped up as the Russian space dogs.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And I'm like, the puzzle pieces come together. I highly recommend everyone Google it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
When people name like their personas based off of something that actually, is based off of like something that already existed, but like as like a story or something, or as like a true event, it's so cool to like go and like research it. I thought it was really neat.
Don't go in and research Lishika.
Don't
do it.
Why?
Because someone didn't make it off the launch pad.
Oh, that's too bad. All right.
It is such a cute name theme, though.
But I'll tell you this though, if you Google search that name, but just search for the images, it comes up as a fox.
Yeah, it means little fox,
which
in
is
Russian,
cute.
basically.
Oh, that's so cute.
Or a fungus, like a mushroom.
That's also pretty good.
Yeah. So.
I mean, she kind of looked like she's maybe eaten some fungus.
It's awesome.
So I think you kind of answered this question a little bit before, but do you think that being an openly trans person has altered or changed your experience within the fandom space at all?
I would say with the fandom being as open as it is, it's not something that I have felt very much change anything. It's just accepted within the fandom. So it's literally the only change I really feel is if people call me he or she. That's the thing that's changed the most within the fandom itself. And along with my friends in the fandom and everything, I've always been one of the girls even before I transitioned. So it's just how it's always been.
That's really good to hear, to be honest.
I feel like the fandoms are really accepting. I mean, it also, again, it depends on
it
everyone's
really depends.
experience.
But here in Denmark, I would say it's very accepting. Actually, very much in Europe in general.
Yeah.
At least in the circus I come in. I can't speak for everywhere and everyone, but I know I haven't felt any hatred towards me due to that within the fandom.
And I haven't felt anything. I've always just felt love in the fandom, which is all the more reason as to why I love it. I don't think I can't really speak for the future, and I hope I don't ever have to. But I don't think I will ever necessarily leave the fandom. Just because it's given me so much. It's given me such a great, like, new fresh start on life. It's given me such a great set of friends. It's just regular life before the fandom sucked, and I just thought there was nothing for me, really. And since I found the fandom, I don't want to look back, and I don't want to go back to what it was before. I just don't see, for me, I don't see a life without the fandom. And I love how accepting it is, basically, regardless of who you are, which is really nice.
Yeah, I would say my life really has changed since finding the fandom.
Yeah.
Like, my fiance is found through the fandom. So it tells a lot.
How did you meet your fiance, by the way?
How long of a story are you in for?
It is. To be fair, it's a pretty good one.
I mean, I'm totally. How long of a story is it?
It can be done quick enough.
I'm game. I'm game if you're game, dear.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, basically, it started a very long time. Very long. It started back when I had just moved to Copenhagen to study, where I started doing a lot of fursuit walks and hosting a lot of fursuit walks with somebody from Odense started asking if he could come over with his camera instead of being a handler or a fursuiter. And I just said yes, because I had no clue who it was. I just thought it could be fun to have someone with a camera photographing our walks and such. And we slowly became friends and everything over time. In 2 seconds, we're just gonna stop our cats. Our cat destroying half our room. Pickles.
Okay. Cough the spotlight.
Oh, I wonder. Oh, that's the cats.
It's Koshka.
And I'm back again.
Yes, we do love
Our
a
cat
Koshka
was just.
moment.
I love it. I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that in there.
Can he be a guest on the podcast as well?
It's almost. I think that's almost as comical as like Beans Birds talking in the background and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that one's better though. I love it. Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was just. Oh, that was so amazing.
But yeah,
so good.
Where did I come from? Something about that weird guy from Odense coming over to my fur walks and just always having a camera with him. And as said, we became friends over time. And is he doing it again?
What is he doing?
I don't know.
Is he like pooping or something?
It's Koshka being a menace. A menace to society.
God damn it. Sammy's taking care of Koshka now.
What was he doing?
We should be fine.
What is he doing?
He's jumping up on top of our aquarium.
Oh
my God!
He's never done that. He's literally never done that before. And now he's just done it 2 times in a row.
He heard the story and he just got hyped.
Oh my God, this is so... These are the moments you just cannot like plan in interviews or just like in recordings at all. These are just like the best kind of moments ever. Oh my God, I love it so much.
I'm sorry my cat is destroying everything.
No, it's so okay. Oh, I love it so much. I'm so glad you decided to elaborate on your fiance's story. All right. I cannot wait to edit this. This is gonna be so good.
But yeah, I found my now girlfriend over in Copenhagen, and we had a relationship. How much can I swear on this?
As much as you want.
Okay.
You swear all the time.
I didn't know we were allowed to swear on this.
What?
What?
So in America, the only words that we don't say here in America is the C word, which would probably be the equivalent to I'll pickle this out. Twat. And
No, it's fine. I know what the C word is.
I know that you guys know the T word. I know you guys know the T word over there. I love saying the T word over here.
No,
I think it's amazing.
Listen, twat's hardly considered a swear word. It's fine.
I know, but I love saying the T word because I can't say the C word. And a lot of Americans just don't get it. And so I'm just like, you're being such a fucking twat. And so people are just like, what?
The way you pronounce it is really funny.
Why? Do you guys say twat?
Yeah.
Oh, like wanker? Yeah, twat wanker. Oh. I like saying twat. I think it sounds funnier. Anyways, yeah, go ahead and swear. Yeah. You're totally good.
Okay, but yeah, I found my ex-girlfriend over in Copenhagen, us also through the fandom, and we had our relationship, and it really was shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's just say that it wasn't really her fault because of some psychological conditions, but she didn't treat me very nicely. So I won't blame it on her, but I'm glad I got out of it. She literally popped my balloons because she thought it was fun in front of me.
Oof.
That's rude.
Yeah, it's really rude.
It is.
Well, one year around New Year's Eve, she suddenly asked if I could invite one of my friends over to our New Year's Eve party, and I didn't think much about it, so of course I did. So I invited one of my friends over, and I could feel it was a bit weird and everything. It was, and around a month later, I ended up breaking up with her, and because I just felt something was wrong. No, it was 2 months later because there was too much. We were on a fur walk out at something called Bakken, which is an amusement park here in Denmark, and it just felt wrong when we got home from there. I could feel something was off, and I ended up saying our relationship could not go on anymore. I then, the day after, talked to her about it and found out it was because, as I thought, she had fallen in love with someone else. And as my fears was, it was that friend she wanted over for New Year's Eve. So it was a bit awkward having invited my own girlfriend's crush to our New Year's Eve party.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's not the best part of the story. It comes later. Because she started trying to get to see my friend quite a lot, and he just wasn't feeling it. And my friend knew I liked photography and had my own camera and all that sort of stuff. So when he got his fursuit, he asked me if I would take some pictures of it, and just for fun, I joked about that he could pay me in balloons. And sent him a link to a shop that sells all sort of weird balloons. And he actually did it. So when he came to get his photo shoot taken, he brought a giant bag of mixed balloons. And that evening after his photo shoot and some photos inside, I kissed him on his cheek when he left. He misinterpreted that as I did it because I was happy he had done it for me. He misinterpreted it as a sign of love, so he kissed me back properly. And well, that guy is alias. That guy that my girlfriend dropped me for to try and get instead.
Which is just my favorite thing.
That's alias. So she basically broke our relationship because of another guy, or because of a guy, which then I unknowingly ended up together with, and has now been a couple for over 4 years.
So wait, she broke up with you to be with him, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
To try and be with him, yeah.
But he's gay, right?
No,
he's
straight? Never been gay
or bisexual or
basically straight.
Oh, okay. So he's Okay, let me get this right.
Yeah,
Then.
it's really good.
She breaks
really
up
good.
with him. She breaks up with you to
Yeah.
be with Elios,
Yeah.
but Elios basically
Is-
ends up with you instead.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
basically.
That's amazing.
Isn't it good?
That
And
is
I
so
can say as
amazing.
much as I had never looked into coming together with a guy because I have always seen myself as lesbian.
That's so funny.
He kind of broke that.
That
And I
is
don't mind
so
it.
funny. That's so amazingly awesome. I love that.
It's a weird story, but it's just how life sometimes happens.
I love it. I love it. That's like sweet, sweet revenge. That like, and she must be just like burning inside with such like anger. I like, that's like when I'm just like,
back then, the weird thing is back then, a lot of people were interested in Alias. I could think of three different persons interested in him, and I was just a friend.
So you were just like, you're basically just like a bystander on the side, just like,
Yeah.
you know, like, hey, how's it going, bro?
I saw the warfare going on to get Alias between different people, even between two of them being friends. Just everybody going for him, and I'm just the bystander.
You really just
that ends with the
sidestepped.
prize.
You're basically like, so in American terms, you're basically the wingman to help. You're basically the wingman, but in this case, the wingman ended up being the person who ends up being in a relationship. Not that's just so. That is just such perfect.
It's so good.
It's so good. Man, he must be hot.
I would say I can't answer that because I'm biased.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I think my husband's hot, and I think everyone else thinks he's hot too. So, you know, pretty much whenever he gets his hair cut, I always say he looks like Captain America. He doesn't see it, but I think he looks like him. So, whatever. He's my Captain America. I should say, you know what? When he's naked and he turns around, I should be like, "That's America's ass right there." That's a line from the movie. I should just say that.
Space is taking notes.
I am. I should write that down. That's America's ass. I am literally writing this down. Let's see. Belks, do you think there's anything in the fandom that needs to work on or change in order to be more inclusive or allow people to be more open about themselves? Or do you think it's just fine and there's little tweaks just here and there that just...
I would say it's mostly little tweaks here and there. And then this might seem counterproductive in some way, but some places I find the fandom might be a little too open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because
elaborate there.
Yeah, of course. I personally see a lot of people who might get confirmation on things within the fandom because it's seen as taboo to ask questions about things, and some people seems like they might need help with other conditions and need professional help with them, and instead is just comforted by people in the fandom. So I think I wouldn't say there needs to be a harsh tone at all, but people in the fandom needs to help each other instead of just patting each other on the shoulders. I really find it counterproductive if it's clear to see that there's some psychological or physical problem with a person they need to seek professional help with, and they just get patted on the shoulder and say, there, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, but I have seen it a couple of times where people really should seek professional help, and if you tell them, you get shut down by a bunch of other people who no, they just need to be space for everyone. And of course, there needs to be space for everyone, but we need to help each others as well when people have serious problems, either if they're physical or psychological or anything in between. We need to help instead of just comfort.
By order of the king, I'm here to announce a trigger warning that the following content may in fact trigger upsetting emotions and memories. If you wish to skip ahead, please do so by selecting the chapter marker provided for this episode. Alas, you may continue onward. So let me ask you this then. Do you think that in the fandom and even on social media, do you think it's the right place to express that you're not feeling okay and your intentions are to commit suicide? And I ask this because a lot of furries do this.
No, I do not think that if social media isn't the place to go. You need professional help if you are having thoughts about suicide. You really need to seek help. And I know this from a personal account. What happens when you don't seek the help you need?
Do you feel comfortable talking about that today, or would you like to
of course
move? Okay.
We can talk about that. It's in the past, and I learned something from it.
Let's go ahead and talk about it that way. You know, our listeners can hear it, because maybe someone out there can learn from your experience or can gain something from it.
Of course. I've had a couple of attempted suicides during the last 1.5 years after I lost my job, where basically my mental health has gone to the gone AWOL, gone to the shitter, gone to the gutters, call it what you want. But it's been a very rough time for me, and I have done my best to actually seek the help I need. The Danish health authorities are just not very good with psychological conditions at all. And it has at a couple of times come out to the point where, aliens have found me one time with an arterial bleed from my wrist. We had to get stopped. And one time a police officer pulled me off the rails literally 2 minutes before the train drove by.
Oh my God.
That morning, the 24th of November last year, I have had a couple of very, very bad days, and I wasn't talking to alias about how I was feeling. In other words, I wasn't seeking the help I needed. So instead of seeking help and getting help when I really needed it, I just bottled it up. And that morning it became too much, and I literally just left home took my shorts, took my jacket, and just went for it. Luckily, Alias woke up and called the correct authorities. So a huge, I don't know if we should say main hunt, but main search, maybe it's more probably started, and I got found by a police officer and his dog a couple minutes before the train rolled by. If I hadn't been found that morning, I wouldn't be here now.
I'm glad that they found you.
I'm glad they found me too. But when you are feeling like that, you can't think straight at all. Committing suicide is such an egoistic way of dealing with things and doing things. But when you are in the situation, you can't think about that. It's only you think about and your own self-preservation, even if your self-preservation is death.
Suicide, I think a lot of people who have either attempted it or have thought about it. I've not attempted it, but I have thought about it. My doctor always asks me about it every time I go in. Have I had any thoughts? And I have to say yes or no. And for the most part, I usually say no because I've done really well. That's why I'm on the medications that I'm on. But sometimes when the stress gets really bad, I have the thoughts. And the way that I have my thoughts, it's really interesting. I I think about the setup, I think about how it works, and then I think about the conclusion of it, not necessarily just how it ends, but then how it ends for everyone else. And I think that's what stops me is it's not just,
Yeah,
you know,
I would say when I have my usual suicide thought, that's exactly what stops me because thinking about all the people around me.
it's just a shockwave, and I don't think people realize that. It's I think for those out there who have ever had suicidal thoughts or may still have suicidal thoughts, don't think of this next bit as something bad. Think of this as an opportunity to improve. A suicidal intention or a suicidal attempt can be considered almost as a selfish act. The reason I say that is because you're not just taking your own life, but you're also taking the life away from everyone else in your life. While you may think that for you, no one cares, you may actually find that a lot of people in your life do actually care. And life does not stop for them. It may stop for you, but it doesn't stop for them because the bill now has to be picked up on their end. Someone still has to pay your bills. They have to pick up your tab. They have to pay for your funeral. They have to pay for all of this other stuff. And so while your life has ended, now they have to pay for everything else until that's done. And so it causes more problems. It actually causes probably double, if not triple, the amount of issues. And so it causes this really bad wave effect. That's what stops me from doing it. But there's so much pain before that comes into play. And it's for anyone that's never had to have to think about it, like if you just have had such a great life, I envy that. I've had like a really bad childhood. I mean, I guess I've had a good childhood, but there's things that have happened that I just can't, not forget. And those things keep coming up. And there's things that have happened in my adulthood that I just wish never happened. And attempts in my mind, I'll run through a scenario and there's a lot of pain that comes into it. And I feel like in that moment, and I'm sure you've felt like that too, Velks, where you just feel so alone. And the only way out is to just die. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that's okay. That's okay to feel that way, but it's not okay to proceed with it. That's when you have to get help.
I could very much agree on that, where it's okay to feel bad and it's okay to have bad days, but there's a great jump between having a bad day and actually doing something I would say you would regret, but you can't regret it when it's done.
Just don't. Please don't do it. It's so hard to deal with. And it is.
It affects everyone around you. And I found out the day I tried to do it, where I was pulled away from the rail tracks, how many and how much people actually care for me. I could not see that before. Also, if you know somebody who might be out there where they're having a really bad time with their life, don't wait to tell them that you love them. Don't wait to tell them that you really care about them and you want to help them. Tell them before it's too late, because they might not know that you care.
And then it might be too late.
Yeah. That's the thing. If you don't tell them, it might be too late to tell them next time you think about it.
Love goes quite a distance, whether you mean it as a relationship or whether you mean it as a friend, whether you mean it as a comment, whatever it means. Even if it means just getting that person out of that situation, it means everything. And sometimes it means just that one moment. I appreciate you telling your story. I know that for a lot of people, they don't like talking about it, but I really appreciate you talking about it because it's a really hard subject, not one that's easy to swallow. And it's also a very controversial topic, both in and outside the fandom. Most people just push it under the rug and say it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but But that if you ask me, pushing something like that under the rug and saying it doesn't exist is literally the worst thing you could do,
It is.
because it needs to be talked about, and people need help when they are in such situations, and they won't get help if you don't talk about it.
Exactly.
And that's also why I'm okay with talking about it now, because if somebody out there's sitting with these thoughts and not knowing what to do, everywhere in the world, almost, I can't speak for everywhere, of course, but almost everywhere have some phone line, some mail, some place to go where you can get help with these kind of problems. And it's worth it, because there's a lot of people who cares about, and all those people don't want to see you gone. Even if you can't see it yourself, all those people around you, they love you as a friend, as a colleague, as a just somebody they know, as a neighbor, as anything, but they still care for you.
Even if you don't know them. If I come across something on Twitter and I see that someone's having a bad day, even on the Straight from the Muzzle account, I still comment on there and I say, I love your artwork. You have such a great thing about you. And I always leave a good positive something on their account just to boost their day. You don't have to know someone to give them a good push
No, you
or
don't
to
have
make
to
them feel
know.
better. No.
No, you don't have to know people to just be nice to them. Basically, it's just about being nice to others, and then what goes around comes around. If you're nice to other people, they'll be nice to you too. And those people you are nice to might just need that little pat on their back to go get the help they need.
Exactly.
We are not professionals, so we can't help with the deep stuff that some people are struggling with, but we can help them to make it to the help.
Yep. That is correct. Dear, you've been awfully quiet.
Sorry.
Are you crying over there?
No. All right. Are we going on to the next question? Or are we? Okay, nice. Cool. So, finally, is there any advice you would give people who are questioning their gender or considering coming out as trans?
If they're at the point where they're questioning their gender, I would say sit down and ask yourself a few questions about what is it you're considering, what is it you want to do, and what it speaks against it, basically. Is there something, because coming out is a huge thing, and it's even harder to regret it than it is to do it. So you have to be certain that it's the right thing before you actually do it. So I would say it's better to wait half a year while you think about it very, very carefully than just jumping right when you get the thoughts about it. Because I've seen people who have come out and everything just basically on a whim, and then half a year or 2 years later had to redo their entire life because they have regretted coming out. So it's much better just to be sure before you do it. Yeah, take your time. And about coming out, kick in those doors and tell people who you are. When you're at the point where you're ready to come out, there's no point in hiding it for anybody, because hiding it will only make it more mysterious for people. And the more you give people the possibility to think, the more stupid their thoughts will become. So it's just kicking in the door and telling, this is me, deal with it.
I really don't think there's any other way to really like put that. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, Belks, I very much appreciate you coming on to the show. I think this has been a really wonderful and fun interview. It's been great hearing you. And it's just been great. It's just been such a good, fun time hearing you. I don't think I've ever actually heard you speak before.
I actually don't think either.
So it's really nice.
I'm not much of a speaker usually.
I don't mind speaking as much because I'm used to it. And I usually leave voice messages for other people, and then sometimes they just type back to me. So it's like, oh, they probably just don't like, messaging back through their voice, and that's totally fine. Or it's that they're just like, I wonder if they just hate listening to my voice messages. They just want to tell me. And I never really think about that either. But this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I need to do more shows with Deer as well. I know that she's only available.
Yeah, and time zones doesn't make
days,
anything easier
No.
at all.
No, but that's okay though. I'm totally okay with working with it. That's the good thing about me is I'm totally okay with working around other people's schedules. That's not a big deal for me. It may be a big deal for other people, but that doesn't put me off at all whatsoever. I think it's worth it. So I think it's been good. For anyone out there, do you want to advertise yourself? Besides the 2 Twitter accounts that Dear Dog
Any opportunity?
I would say our YouTube isn't very related because it's where we do our analog camera reviews and such.
But it's still good stuff.
You get to see my face make weird noises.
Hey, I say go for it. What's your YouTube channel?
The YouTube is Serval Dog Studios.
Okay. And we'll put all of that link information in the box below so that you guys can just click on it and then it'll go straight to their channel itself or any of their other links. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to us at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com. If you have questions for Belks, you can always just email us and then we can always just forward those questions off to her and then basically just send those email or answers back to you via those whatever. We'll find a way to send it back to you.
Telegram.
Basically, yeah, or we could just, Telegram. You guys can find us in the Telegram chat. That main group chat's always available. It's a great place to be if you ever just want to, join in and meet some really great people in there. I think there's like 85 members, but honestly, only maybe like 8 or 10 people actually chat at any given time. And they're probably the coolest people you'll ever meet and have a chance to chat with. And I highly recommend it. You'll meet some of the coolest people in there. Belks being one of them, me and Dear Dog being the other. And then, of course, our other hosts and stuff. Bean does not talk in there as much. In fact, it's very rare that she does, if she ever goes in there. So don't count on that one. But before we let go, is there anything Dear or Belks you guys want to say?
I'm good.
You first, Dear.
I'm all good, I think.
Dang.
I don't know. Thank you for joining us. It's been really fun. I don't.
And what about you, Space? You don't have anything extra in weird questions or anything? Yeah.
Me? Questions? Other questions? Oh, I guess I could. I probably
Any more surprise attacks?
Okay, yeah, I do. I have a surprise attack. If you could estimate how many balloons have you collected over your lifetime? That includes balloons that you've had previous, those that have maybe possibly popped, and those that you currently have. If you have to estimate, you don't have to have an exact amount, but you can estimate it. Mm-hmm. Holy shit!
Literally last week when I did decorations for just the little FurCon we used around 500 balloons for decorating the place up. There's also you've seen the photos of the pink room we did.
Do you just have calluses on your fingers that you're just so used to tying up balloons and stuff? Or do you wear special gloves to do that with?
Right now I have a lovely little wound after last week where I tied the 500 balloons. It's not too bad. It's just work. That's literally just work. It's a lot more fun when we do it for photography, I have to say.
Tens of thousands of balloons. And I'm sure there'll be way more.
One can never have enough.
Goodness. Well, I do have a surprise for you. I don't know if Dear has told you this, but I did ask Dear to custom make a thumbnail just for you for this particular episode.
No,
I don't
not
know
yet.
if she's done with it
Wait,
yet.
I have something else.
But when
though.
she is,
Wait.
she's going to reveal it to you. So
I might have.
it's very
Okay, go.
special.
I might have seen a sneak peek here and there.
There you go. I've been doodling whilst we
Okay,
record.
Oh,
Oh, I'm excited. I love her doodles.
that's
Her
so
doodles are
cute,
the best.
dear. Just a dumb little snoofler.
Let me see this. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, look at that. Deer's the best. Deer always has the best
Oh.
little doodles.
Yeah,
during
I
recording.
remember we still have the Cosca doodles she did
Oh yeah.
back a while ago. They're amazing.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love it. So, I love where she's gone so far with the thumbnail, and I can't wait till it's all done. So I'm super excited for this. So yay. I specifically asked her, I'm like, hey, can you do a very special, top secret thumbnail for Belks? I want it, just for her. So, because I didn't want to edit it, one, because, I've got editing skills, but nothing compared to what she's got. So,
Yeah.
Hooray.
yay. All right. Well, it's been fun.
It's been a joyful ride.
It has been a joyful ride. Thanks every guy. Thanks everyone for listening to our episode. We'll see you guys next time. And once again, thank you, Belks and Deer, for participating in today's interview. And have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.